Afternoon, everyone. Welcome. I'm Victoria from Get the Gloss, and welcome to this Instagram Live on this boiling hot summer day, all about healthy hair in summer. I don't know about you, but the heat really plays havoc with my hair, and we are going to be inviting Michael van Clarke, who is a legendary hairdresser with a range of styling products, and he's all about protecting the health of the hair. So I'm hoping he's going to join me very soon to tell us more about how to protect our hair in summer from the UV, from the salt, from the sea, from, if we can get there, from the sun. So Michael, if you're there, please ping me a request to join. Meanwhile, if you've got any questions about how to look after your hair in the summer, please put them in the chat. Tell me what the issues you find in summer. Does your colour fade maybe? That's what mine does. My ends get very dry, and generally I have had a burnt scalp on occasions. Oops. So we're going to find out how to avoid all of those things. Michael, if you're there, please just send me a request to join and I will let you in. Here we go. So Michael, just ping me a request. I can see you've joined. Lovely. Here we go. How's everyone's hair holding up in the summer? Mine has gone a little bit, it's desperately in need of a cut. Here we go.
Victoria, hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Good, thank you. You've got long hair these days since I last saw you.
Do you know what? It's lockdown here, and I actually had a couple of inches taken off the other day. But,
yeah.
Like many of my clients, the hair's longer.
You've just been drinking your own Kool-Aid, haven't you? This 3 more inches stuff.
Well,
of
course I do use it, and I'm always testing little changes that we make. But yes, I'm the beneficiary of our products. So I'm quite happy with my hair.
Yeah, very good. It looks lovely. And you've actually helped me grow my hair from here to here, and I've actually had several inches cut off in the couple of years since you've been helping me grow my hair in a kind of healthy way. So I
remember the first time, Victoria, and it's great to see that you've got it longer.
Yeah. I do have to keep getting it cut now, which is amazing. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to grow long, healthy hair, specifically in the summer. So can you tell us a little bit about what sort of issues you generally see in the summer, sort of right now, the sort of things that we're doing to our hair, and how it affects how it survives the summer?
Well, I think the main things are faded hair and brittle hair. And these are issues of UV light. And I think most people underestimate the power of the sun to strip colour out of hair and also to strip moisture out of hair. So one of the key elements of healthy hair is to have the right moisture content. Healthy hair is about 3% water, 97% protein. And as it goes through various dehydration moments, through how we look after our hair, being in sunlight, sea, swimming, aggressive styling,
excuse me,
the hair becomes dehydrated and the protein structure breaks down. And that leads to the hair thinning, eventually becoming brittle enough to snap or to split. And keeping the hair moisturized is very important, throughout the life of the hair. And long hair can be 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
I can illustrate with a image here, which people find they can understand better.
Yeah.
This is quite a common effect these days, where people, they have good quality hair at the root, but they have a lot of breakage and colour fade at the ends, and the ends end up being much, much thinner. And this is the natural life cycle of aging. The hair starts out very healthy at the root. It's a complete structure, and the cuticles lay flat. So the hair is shinier because the light reflects off of that flat surface better. As the hair suffers these dehydration moments, the protein structure breaks down, parts of it leach away, and the hair shaft starts to thin. And as it starts to thin...
Yes, your hair does get thinner at the end,
so
doesn't it?
if you feel your hair at the root here, and then exactly the same hair at the ends, you'll see that the thickness and the quality is very different. The hair coming out here is very supple, and it's hair at its fullest. But however it's looked after, it will go through this process at a certain speed. For some people, here to here will happen in a matter of 4 or 5 months. For other people to look after their hair, it might be 4 or 5 years. It depends. It's very much a lifestyle thing as well. So, by looking after your hair, you get to maintain more of the structure of the hair, less is leaching away, and less of the cuticles lifting, weakening the hair, so the hair just stays thicker at the ends. Less thinning, less breakage, and less split hair.
So basically looking after it from here onwards gives it more of a chance to survive to kind of down here.
Exactly, and the more you retain the structure of the hair at whatever stage, the more you slow down that thinning process. And so this is where, especially in the summer, people that are careless with their hair care during the summer, some people believe that after 2 months you can put a treatment on and you're back to square one. But that simply isn't the case with hair. Hair is not connected to your metabolism, unlike your skin. You can go in the sun and go lobster red, and 3 weeks later it appears like it's all okay. You may have caused lifetime damage, but you don't see that. You just think, that's fine. I was a bit silly, a bit reckless in Ibiza, and now my skin's fine. And I think it's the same for hair, but it's not, because with hair, it's not connected to your metabolism. Once it's gone and it's shrunk down, that doesn't get replaced until new hair grows through.
Yeah, and to get from there to there, certainly that would take me, especially because my hair's curly and I've probably got a very slow growth cycle. That would take me
18 months.
I'd be 100 by the time.
Well, 18 months probably.
And it would just, so first of all, we're talking about specifically in the sun and all year round, looking after the moisture content of your hair. And what practically, what does that mean?
It means looking at what you're doing to your hair. Sun is one element that degrades the hair in 2 reasons. One is it's instantly dehydrating. If you leave your hair out in the sun, it will dry out. But also UV rays activate free radicals in the structure of the hair, which they break down the molecular structure quicker as well. And
that's interesting. So just like our skin, just like free radicals in our skin.
Exactly the same. And I think you'll find if you're colouring your hair as well, then that's another process which will have an effect on the structure of the hair. And if you're heat styling your hair 7 days a week, that's clearly going to be much more than if you're doing it 2 days.
Well, when you use the straighteners, you can well, I don't use straighteners anymore. You can see like clouds of steam coming off them. So that presumably is the moisture in the hair coming out, is it?
Well, it's not entirely the moisture. It may be the fatty acids in the conditioner as well. But you get the idea that you are putting an awful lot of heat on the hair, and yes, you are taking some of the moisture out. So if you are more careful with those processes and you have a better styling process, you will do less damage to the hair. Swimming, if you protect your hair when you're swimming in pool water or sea water, it will have a huge effect. Some of the things we've done tests on some of our products around the world, and even I was surprised just how aggressive the sun is. And I know it's aggressive, but to actually do a 7-day test, this was one we did in the Negev desert. I don't know if you can see this one here.
That's a dedication to the cause, going to the desert. Okay.
Well,
tell us about that.
Someone's got to do it. But this was a test we did on brown hair. We cut a weft in half and we left them out in the sun for 7 days. Once a day, dipped them in the pool. The weft on this side is protected with Lifesaver. each day it's had it applied,
Yeah.
and the weft, this side, hasn't been protected. And you see how quickly, just in 7 days,
Yeah.
how the colour has been stripped out, but also the weight of the hair has been stripped away as well. It's actually not as
Thinning.
full anymore. And we did the same one in the Maldives as well. On,
Did you just want to go to the Maldives?
well, basically, but it's nice to have a reason as well.
Exactly.
This was one in the Maldives, again, 7-day test. You know,
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got blonde hair, you see the one that's not protected, and you see the one that is protected, and it's only 7 days. You know, if you repeat that 2 or 3 times a year over the course of a couple of years on long hair, you get to see just how much you can degrade the quality of hair.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So when we're saying it was protected with Lifesaver, maybe we need to explain that a bit more. Did it?
Lifesaver UV.
Yeah.
This is a particular one that we have.
Oh
here.
yeah, I have this one too. Yeah.
Yeah. So that we have that in a pump now. This started out as a version of our original Lifesaver, because a lot of people were using the treatment as a pre-wash and then not washing the treatment off, because they just liked the way it looked on their hair. It gave them like a beachy effect. But the original Lifesaver is too heavy for a lot of hair types to leave it in. And so we came out with this lighter version with UV protection. And so for anyone with slightly wavy hair that tends to go frizzy, you know, I actually use it myself because my own hair would dry too big without it. Yeah. Anyone with that sort of hair, you can apply it and it will just dry in soft, beachy waves.
I have actually, just for the sake of the live today and because I use it a lot, I've put this in as like an air dry.
Perfect. See, it's perfect for your
so you can, it's a quite a good curl conditioner,
but
and
also,
you can see it's
what we've
you know,
found is that
wet.
for blow dried hair, people that want to blow dry their hair smooth, they wouldn't put as much on, because you can actually put loads on naturally wavy hair. If you wanted to blow dry it smooth with a brush, you put less on, but it's a great aid at keeping the hair smoother for much longer. It actually helps to stop the frizz coming back too soon, but it's also protective of the sun, so you don't get the same damage on the hair while you're walking around the city or on the beach. It's become our second best-selling product after the Hero Lifesaver, the original one. Yeah.
So how much, I mean, we talk a lot about, you know, when we talk about sun cream for our face, putting it on every 4 hours, putting on 1.5, you know, half a teaspoon for the face and neck. Is there a similar kind of dosing instructions if you want to sun protect your hair?
Yeah, so if you've got wavy hair, you can actually use a lot of this product. And if someone's got, say, dry, quite tight curly hair, you can actually wet the hair down with the product. You know, that's actually how much you can put on, and then just either let it dry naturally or diffuse it, and you will just get soft waves. If you're aiming to use a brush, then I would say use a teaspoon or two on the hair. But it's really for people to get the feel themselves, and if they're in the sun, say if they're by the beach or they're swimming, to reapply after swimming. Yeah.
Okay. Have you measured how much UV protection it gives? Is it possible to say that with a
haircare product? I measured in these 2 tests. It's you know, these were, the only difference in the 2 wefts is that one had Lifesaver UV and one didn't. So it's really quite extraordinary. But they don't have UV in hair doesn't have the same sort of regulatory bodies of skincare, where it's a little bit more precise with skincare. Although I think we'll find that there are various tests that say that what's claimed isn't quite as much as the SPF you're getting. But that's why we had to do our own tests when we were starting to use this in products. We wanted to see for ourselves, for our own eyes, what it would do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked about keeping the moisture in your hair by hydrating, using a hydrating product all year round. And we talked about UV protection. Is there anything else that we can do to kind of minimize sun damage to the hair? And we've talked about not heat styling and things.
Well, wear a hat, stay indoors, not as much fun. And this is where this product has become so useful, because I know before we had this product, there was very little choice on the market for sun protection for hair. And the brands that we were being offered were usually oil-based. And whether they worked or not, it meant that you were walking around with an oil slick on your hair, which most clients actually didn't want to do. So what's remarkable
so you just wouldn't do it?
So you just wouldn't use it. And so people were going out, they'll get their hair fried, and because there wasn't anything where they could just wear their hair naturally. But nothing will beat wearing a big sombrero or staying indoors. But as most people don't want to do that, this is the best thing that we've come across, that our own product for protecting the hair.
So, and are there things that say we've got highlights, or we've got like keratin treatment, something like that? Does that make the hair a lot more vulnerable when we go out in the sun? Very
much so. And I think I've lived through the industry for quite a few decades now, and I saw the changes when people used to have perms in their hair, and the perm industry died.
I used to have a perm. Can you believe that, with my hair like this?
It is so funny, because I tell stories about back in the late 70s, early 80s, when the perms were all the rage, and Kevin Keegan was at his height, the footballer, and people would come in to have a perm, and there would be like daughter, mother, grandmother. They would all come in to have a perm, and you'd actually say to one of them, "But you actually don't need a perm. You've got curly hair. I want a perm." But it's, "I want a perm," and they go out with their hair frizzier, curly, but they were happy because they had a perm. And I think,
and it looks like a perm.
And it looked like a perm. And I think, perhaps cutting methods, and there weren't the availability of products at the time to do what perms were doing back then. Nowadays, we can create volume and lift, and there are better styling techniques that very few people need a perm anyway. But most people went on to colour. And I think what's gone on nowadays is that there are a few colour techniques that have become a fashion beyond the benefit of what they are, in a sense. And two of those things which I worry about, and they're things that we use, but we use them very professionally, is balayage and toners. And the balayage has almost given license to hairdressers that aren't properly qualified to overpaint hair again and again and again, and put far too much colour onto hair, far too many times they're processing, and leaving hair very porous and very vulnerable. And the other one is toners, this sort of simple word toner, which in the old days was only really used on blonde hair, really, to just get that slight edge on the colour. And nowadays, too many colourists are using them on virtually every client as almost as a way of not being so precise on their first process, because they can always put a toner on at the end. But the toner is actually a tint. It's actually a weak tint. So some clients were actually having their hair tinted all over every couple of months.
Without realising they're actually...
Without realising that. And what it does, it makes the hair very vulnerable to fading in the sun. And it makes the colour very vulnerable to change very quickly. 2 weeks later, your brown hair is now orange. And a lot of it's because there's no virgin hair left, and it's had too many toners, making the hair too porous again and again and again. So this, this is something that we try to challenge in the industry, how it's become a little bit lax.
So I guess, having a good colorist who will look after the health of your hair.
Definitely, a colorist that cares about health is so important.
Not just look.
So important, not just the look for today.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people will be putting things on their hair that makes them look shiny. I mean, I know you've got a lot to say about silicones. So, and we might turn to these kind of finishing treatments when our hair is drier at the ends because we've got sun damage or whatever. So how do you, if you've got dry ends, you've kind of, you don't, or frizzy, somebody's asking about frizzy, what can you put on it that will preserve the health of the hair?
Yeah, it's a big problem because once the hair is dry, then the quickest solution is to varnish it, and to varnish it with something like a silicone product or a heavy oil product. But the problem is that it cures it for the moment and then makes it even drier next week, because these so-called cures are actually hydrophobic. They're dehydrating on the hair. So even though it will actually cure it today, in terms of the cosmetic look, it will dehydrate it a bit further for next week. And the problem with those frizzy ends is one of dehydration.
Yeah.
There's so much of the structure has leached away that it cannot hold on to moisture anymore. So it becomes very matte, frizzy, and dry. So we've developed products that don't use silicone. We're using more modern natural replacements that give the similar effect of what silicone will do, but in a hydrating way. So none of our products actually have silicone, but we have things like the Magic Oil here, which is a silicone-free serum. And there are lots of serums on the market, but most of the serums are very high proportion silicone. Some are 95% silicone.
Yeah.
So this is a silicone-free, 100%
You can
natural.
feel it in your skin, in your hands, can't you? That's kind of how I usually. You've taught me to look for owns and cones and things.
Yes,
in
yes.
the packet, but you can just feel that kind of artificial.
It is. It's you know, I discovered recently. You know, I've got children of school age, and I discovered recently that they've now discovered that silicone is great for killing head lice.
Right, because it blocks out all, they can't breathe and they can't,
Exactly, because it suffocates them and dehydrates them, so they can't regulate water. And these are all the reasons why it's not good for the hair and scalp. So it's interesting that 1 or 2 doses to get rid of nits is great, but then even some of the ones that they sell recommend using fairy liquid to try and get the product out after. Well,
right, yeah.
I mean, anyone that uses fairy liquid knows that it's quite aggressive on hair, but it illustrates just how difficult it is to get silicone out of the hair after. Yeah. Because it really sticks into the pores of the hair. Yeah. So not a great product. So another one here is this finishing grooming balm, which again is a heavier product than the oil. But again, it's about feeding and moisturising the hair, but eliminating frizz as well. So you know, there are other solutions. You don't have to just reach for the silicone to disguise frizzy ends.
Yeah. So in terms of frizz, a lot of people go on holiday. They're going to a humid environment. Yeah. Frizz is the bane of their life. How do you deal with summer frizz?
Well, for most people, Lifesaver UV has been a godsend. I read a review yesterday that's been posted on our website on this product. You know, someone saying that she goes away for 2 months of the year, and she's been using this product for the whole of the summer. In the past, her hair was always wrecked by the end of the holiday. She's just amazed at how her hair has survived 2 months in the sun because she's been using this product on her hair. So, you know, for most hair types, that's enough. I think for people that have got particularly frizzy hair and are used to a smooth look in town for the rest of the year, something like the keratin treatments, you know, are a good idea to get you through the holiday season, to take out a lot of that frizziness and make the hair easier to manage. It depends.
Do they damage the hair at all? Do they dehydrate the hair? I've had a keratin treatment and my hair was just, I could see all the colour came out. I went like canary, and it went very kind of thin.
Well, the thinness might partly because it's made it so smooth as well. And the manufacturers will claim that they're good for the hair. You know, they're not. I don't believe that they are. You know, overall good for the hair, but we recommend with clients not to have more than 2 on the hair at any one time. So we like to see clients grow out the keratin treatment at least halfway, although sometimes we may just do the front of someone's hair. But it's one of those things that you weigh up the benefits of, if it means the client is being much less aggressive with blow drying, then it's probably better to have the keratin treatment, which may deplete the hair a little, but then it saves them wrecking the hair with a hairdryer.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's weighing up, and it's different for everybody. But you know, I don't, on their own, I wouldn't say this is a health treatment, because they're not.
No, but it might stop you, I guess, from doing other things.
It may be a better solution than what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody's just asked to list the products, so I guess I've got a kind of old version of Lifesaver UV.
Yeah, we've gone into a standard pump now, which is easier to apply.
Yeah,
and it's a new formula on this one as well.
Oh, is it? Okay.
It's an improved formula.
Yeah, to be honest, I just use this one all the time.
That's the original.
Which is slightly thicker. Which I could just water it down a bit and put it through my hair. But I sleep in this one. Because I just and actually the conditioner, I've got the moisturizing conditioner, so that's maybe appropriate to have these in industrial quantities, you can see. And I actually leave this on. I leave it on like a mask if I can, and it makes a massive difference. In fact, good. So yeah, you can really feel like the hair goes kind of baby soft after that. It's really it really is noticeable that you're moisturizing the hair. So
I can tell you a secret, because this isn't released yet, but we have a new product called Lifesaver Deep Sleep.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's not officially released until next week, but it's the first of our Lifesaver products to be fragranced, and it sort of came out of the whole lockdowns and the COVID issues of so many people with anxiety and sleep issues. We thought that it would be good to combine our Lifesaver with fragrance that would help sleep.
Oh, that's nice. So it's like a pillow mist for your hair.
Yeah, it's an amazing fragrance that we've devised for it, and it's for people that like to use Lifesaver overnight, which a lot of people use it overnight. Like you said yourself.
Because it doesn't transfer onto your. You worry that you kind of mush your face in it when.
Yeah, it dries clean.
But, so I mean, in terms of a mask to look after healthy hair, because people might come back from holiday with their hair frazzled, they might think of doing a kind of conditioning mask. Is in fact a protein, a pre-wash protein treatment a better idea?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this one, the Lifesaver, the original, is the best thing to use. And it will help to restore the hair and protect it while the new hair grows through. But again, I emphasize that once the hair that's shrunk down and gone, it can't take it back to what it was before the summer. And that's why it's so important to use it during the summer to protect the hair. I mean, we have clients that will use it in London once or twice a week. When they go on holiday, they use it every day. And these are clients that have colour in their hair. They'll come back from their holiday, their hair's in as good or better condition when they come back from holiday as when they left, which is highly unusual when they've gone on a summer holiday. But because they've just been so disciplined about applying the treatment every day.
Yeah. And for the people that don't use a protein pre-wash treatment, how is it different from a mask? Why does it go on first?
I actually don't like the word mask, and it's a word that came about 20 years ago. There's something about the word that makes me think fake. And if you look at a lot of these products that are masks, they are fake, most of them, because they don't actually do much more than the conditioner. They don't penetrate the hair very far, and that's why you have to put them on after your hair's washed, because the shampoo will just take them off again. And most of them rely on silicone to give you the illusion of healthy hair, but don't actually give any health to the hair at all. So most masks that I see, and certainly all of the ones that have you washed the hair first, which is 99% of them, are nothing more than expensive conditioners. Yeah, the reason our product is different is because it penetrates much deeper into the hair, and the structure of the complex that's in that product is the most bioavailable to human hair, from all of our tests that we've done for decades. And by bioavailable, I mean that hair actually takes it in, it absorbs it at a deep level. Now, most of the products and the ingredients that I read in those products, they sound lovely. You know, this mountain flower and this something else from the sea, but you know, most of them are completely irrelevant to human hair. Human hair is protein and water, essentially. It's not argan oil, it's not silicone, and it's not any of these things that sound lovely and fluffy, but do nothing to the health of hair. They're purely cosmetic.
Mm. So, I mean, there are loads of hair oils around, and I suppose if you've got kind of thick or frizzy hair, you can see that it would affect
Sure.
the feel and the texture and the look.
Absolutely.
But in terms of the health of the hair,
yeah,
is not feeding the hair. Is that right?
No, no. So what you have, I'll show you. You know, three stages of hair. This is healthy hair. The cuticles are laying flat. The hair shaft is full, and that's how everyone's hair is at the root when it comes out. Damaged hair, the cuticles are lifted, so you know, it's gone under chemical processes, a lot of sun, sea, you know, heavy styling. The cuticles start to lift. It makes the hair dull. It snags, so it's difficult to comb. And if it goes to the stage of a split end, you know, the hair is shattered at the end and breaks apart. So when your hair's like this, putting a heavy oil over the top or silicone will make the hair feel nicer, because essentially what you're doing is you're varnishing the surface and making the cuticles lay flat. So it's not to say that you shouldn't use that, but if you think you're doing long-term health benefits, it's not. It's purely making the hair feel nice for today.
Yeah. And one more thing that we should discuss, if we're discussing summer hair, is sweaty head syndrome.
Oh, sorry.
Is sweaty head.
Oh, yeah.
How should we treat lots more sweating on the scalp and the hair? What can we do for that?
Well, I think everyone's going to suffer in this very humid weather we have as well. You know, we're all going to perspire more. Some people have more active sebaceous glands in the scalp, which produce more oil anyway. But you know, the fact that we have, you know, more perspiration through the scalp, you know, there's going to be a compacting of the sebum, which is going to attract more pollutants and dirt, let's say. So you know, there probably is a case for exfoliating a little bit more often in the summer to make sure that things are cleansed through. You know, we have a very good exfoliating treatment, this one here, which I use as well once a week. It uses the same sort of ingredients as high quality skincare to exfoliate, so nothing physically rough, but alpha hydroxy acids from fruit, and it just dissolves dead flakes and excess sebum away and just keeps the scalp fresh.
A lot of people will be well, not as many as normal, but if you're traveling or if you're trying to be a bit more green, you might take a shampoo bar. I don't think you do a shampoo bar.
No, not yet. We have looked into it, but not yet.
I certainly, I mean, I want to be green and do my bit, but I find a shampoo bar just doesn't get your hair as clean. Is that the technology isn't there yet, or?
I think it isn't quite there yet, and it's interesting you find that. You know, I have my own personal baggage to shampoo bars as well, because as a child we didn't have shampoo, and so my hair was washed with a bar of soap, but not trying to get soap on the hands first. Literally, the bar was rubbed into my head, and it was usually a fresh bar with corners like a brick.
Oh, ouch.
And I remember shampooing being a painful event, and then I was waterboarded under a tap and that was my recollection of a shampoo bar. So, you know, we are looking into it because it would be great to be able to do that. But as yet, we haven't found a way that's as effective as a shampoo. You know, the liquid shampoo is a much nicer effect for now.
Yeah. I mean, it's great that lots of companies are throwing their weight behind developing them. But yes, you can see it's still in it's got a long way to go. I've got a question. Does washing it twice dry the hair out more?
It's a great question, and I think a lot of people have been educated that they always have to wash their hair twice, and I think unless you're using a lot of heavy products or you're not washing your hair that often, it's I would say you don't normally need to wash your hair twice. You know, if you're washing your hair every other day, generally one good shampoo will be enough, and that's for you to decide. But I find that people that don't understand their hair as well, and we can educate them, they use too much shampoo, and they shampoo their hair perhaps twice when it only needs once. You know, all of our products are professional strength, so you know, usually a teaspoon of shampoo is usually plenty.
Yeah, I heard that rinse repeat thing was what companies put on their bottles to make you use more and buy more.
Maybe. I mean, I think we say on ours, you know, shampoo again only if your hair's really dirty.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's generally not necessary. In the old days, when I started hairdressing, shampoos were sold on the basis of oily hair, normal hair, dry hair. There were 3 types of shampoo. And in those days, the average person washed their hair once a week. So there was much more oily hair around.
Yeah. But so you would need to wash it twice. Yeah.
And so, you know, you'd use a shampoo for oily hair when, you know, it was probably a little bit stronger. But, you know, nowadays, people are shampooing their hair mostly every other day or every day. It's unlikely you'd need to use to have 2 shampoos if you're using a good quality shampoo.
Yeah. And if we're talking about looking after the health of the hair, can you shampoo it too much?
You can definitely shampoo hair too much, but too much being too much shampoo too many times on the day.
Yeah.
But you can shampoo your hair with a good shampoo properly every day and it not be a problem. You know, sometimes people would think, oh, is it bad to wash my hair every day? No, it's not. But if you have a very aggressive drying technique and you're doing that 7 times a week, yes, that's bad.
Yeah.
You might to find a way that's a little bit more natural or healthier in the drying process, but it's not the washing that's the problem.
Yeah. Does the washing fade your colour?
Again, if you're using an aggressive product, it can take the colour out quicker. But if you're using good quality products, you know, they will help to retain the colour in the hair. And, you know, we know ourselves, because of the products that we use, the Lifesaver and the UV products are amazing at holding colour in their hair. I have one client who has the lower half of her hair blue now. She was going to a party about 6 years ago and wanted her hair blue from there down. She liked it so much she hasn't stopped doing it. But in order to get blue into hair, and she's fair haired, but in order to get blue into hair, you have to bleach the hair quite white first. Otherwise, the yellow interferes with the blue and it becomes too green. So it's quite a process to clean the hair to white and then apply the blue. Well, she knows that if she uses the Lifesaver treatment on her hair, the blue lasts all the way to the next time it needs doing. If she doesn't use the product, it fades out very quickly.
Yeah. There's a question, how do we know if a product is too aggressive and will fade colour? What should we look for on the label?
If it's too
aggressive, if it's too aggressive, a product that might fade your colour, what are the kind of signs of that, either in the feel of it or what it says on the label?
You may not be able to tell from the label because it might be a case of the proportions of cleanser balanced with the feeding elements. So a poor quality shampoo that you may have come across in a gym on the wall or something, or you know, in a roadside motel, is going to be very similar to floor cleaner. It's going to be all about the surfactant, the cleansing agent, and nothing that's any good compensating. It's all just about getting it clean, like fairy liquid.
So you'll get lots of foam, but you might end up with
and it'll make it clean, but it's all about cleaning. It's all about degreasing. So there's a lot of degreasant in there, but not much else. So a good quality shampoo will have just enough degreaser of a gentle form. So you know, better if they're naturally derived as well, but just enough. If you have
not
too much
SLS.
Well,
Or
again,
does that
you know,
make
there's a lot of misinformation about SLS. You know, sodium lauryl sulfate is a cleanser, and it's a very effective cleanser, which is why it's used in so many things all over the world. We actually don't use that particular one in our product, sodium lauryl sulfate, because we have slightly gentler ones and a variety of them. But it's not to say that it's bad, but if too much of it is in a product,
Right. Yeah.
so the proportion of that is too high, and the balancing ingredients that feed aren't there, then it's going to be
Yeah.
quite aggressive on the hair.
Yeah.
You know, like say a fairy liquid. You know,
Yeah.
and you won't necessarily tell by reading a list of what's in it, because it won't necessarily show what the proportions are.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We've got one last question. What's the optimum time to leave conditioner on your hair? Does it get more effective the longer you leave it? Is it fine to rinse it out straight away?
The main thing is to coat all of the hair. So key things with a conditioner is use the right conditioner for your hair type. So you know, if your hair is quite coarse, you want something richer. If your hair's softer, finer, you still need a conditioner, but not something that's going to weigh it down. The main thing is that you put it on all of the hair, so put it across your palms, on the hair, and then comb it through. The combing through makes sure that it goes onto every hair strand. Don't massage it into the scalp. Conditioner is not designed for skin, it's designed for hair. So just comb it through. Once it's combed through, you can rinse off. But if your hair is particularly dry, you can rinse a little less, but that's a judgment that you will learn, you know, as you use a product on your hair. But generally speaking, you can rinse well, the hair will hold on to what it wants.
Yeah. So actually leaving it on in a kind of mask type, I know you hate that word, in a mask type way, sort of for half an hour, will you get any benefits from that? Any extra?
I don't believe so. No, it's more to do with that you comb it through properly.
Oh, interesting.
And that you rinse it enough, and that's a judgment that you make with your hair
so you
type.
can do a bit of leave on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. So brilliant. Summer hair. First of all, keep it healthy all the way through the year. Keep it hydrated.
Yes. Protect all the time.
Yeah. And what else did we learn? My mind's gone completely blank. UV protect, yes.
UV protect, very important in you know this era of hotter and hotter summers that we're having. I mean, it's quite astonishing, scorching tarmac and everything else. Imagine what it's doing to your hair.
Yeah, and maybe use your holiday for a bit of hair rehab. You might have the time to do a few more pre-wash treatments, and you might come back with better hair than you started with.
Very much so.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for sharing all your summer hair insights, and have a great day. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye for now.
Bye.